Are you ready to see your video soar to the top of the search results? To multiply your views and grow your channel at lightning speed? Introducing the ultimate video marketing toolkit, trusted by industry giants like Tesla, Decathlon, P&G, Samsung, and Forbes. Now it's your turn to shine. Unlock the secrets of the YouTube stardom with 3 easy-to-use tools that will transform your content and captivate your audience with no prior experience. Step 1. Dive into keyword analytics for YouTube. Discover the hottest keywords, get inspired by trending content, and optimize your videos to reach an audience that's eager to watch. Step 2. With the all-in-one video marketing platform, create stunning videos from scratch. Record, edit, and host with ease. Turn your ideas into captivating videos and even repurpose text content with help of AI. And Step 3. Leap ahead of the competition with Rank Tracker for YouTube. Monitor your rankings, uncover SEO strategies that work, and manage your campaigns effortlessly. It's time to elevate your video content and claim your spot in the limelight. Join the ranks of the pros and transform your channel today. So click the link, sign up, and let the magic begin. Your audience is waiting. Let's make your videos unforgettable. Hey, what's up everyone? Happy Friday. Stefan, my man, the first one here, like always. Love you, brother. Thank you all for coming in. Today we have Dan Kurtz, creating an SEO digital assistant, an SEO digital VA. This is a great topic, guys. I've actually saw Dan at the SEO Spring Training Conference, and he spoke about SEO automation. Not programmatic SEO, but SEO automation on how to help you free up some time, get more human capital back through SEO automation. So this is gonna be a good topic. Dan Kurtz, still waiting for him to join in the back. Don't be shy, guys. Let me know where you are watching from. Victor says, happy Friday. Luther says, hi. If you're just tuning in, we got Dan Kurtz coming in. We had a different guest scheduled today, but had to reschedule, and Dan was kind enough to join us last minute. Actually, I was gonna had him scheduled back in July. That's how far out in guests I have right now. Booked out till July. And I said, hey, you know what? I just had a new spot open up. It's all yours if you want it. I'm lucky you did, because I would love to talk to more about his SEO automation processes and how to build these digital assistants. We got about less than 7 minutes to go. Be sure to say hi in the live chat and let me know where you're watching from. Ernesto says, I love today's topic. Yes, sir. It's gonna be a good one, guys. Again, if you're just tuning in, we got Dan Kurtz coming in today. Learn about his SEO journey and how he took automation to SEO. So this is going to be a little topic. Our topic will be on SEO Automation 101, not to be confused with programmatic SEO. We'll be learning how to create an SEO digital assistant, a digital VA. I see Dan. I see Dan calling in. Dan, my man, can you hear me okay? I can't hear you. Fletcher says, hello everyone. Check. Okay, we have
How about now?
Oh yeah, love it, brother.
Beautiful, beautiful, love it.
All right, then. So we got about 5 more minutes to go. I'm just saying what's up to everyone in the live chat while everyone kind of trickles in, and I'm just letting everyone know about today's topic. Today we have Dan Kurtz in the back. He is someone I met at the SEO Spring Training, and I actually had him booked all the way out until July. And I was like, it's quite a while from now. But I was like, you know what? We just had an opening. I would love to get you on as soon as possible. And thank you again for the short notice for coming on today. And
Of course.
we had a great topic, guys. We were talking about SEO automation. Not to be confused with programmatic SEO, but SEO automation to help you create a digital assistant, a digital VA. So we have Stefan here saying, hi guys, what's up, Stefan? So that's today's topics. Dan, you're out in the East Coast, right?
Yeah, I'm over in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, Tampa, Florida. I bet you the weather's awesome right now, right?
Yeah, about to have a record high weekend, so everybody's going to be outside sunning like lizards.
Oh, man, a lot of beautiful people out there as well. The beaches must be hot. Kobe says, what's up, Dre and Dan? So in the very first few, like the first 8 minutes, I go over a few videos I find over the internet. It's about 4 videos I kind of cover. And then that usually takes us about 12:08 my time, and then I'll introduce you into the show. But for now, we're just kind of just chatting with everyone in the live chats.
Right on.
And we have Skylar, 2 legends. Happy Friday, fellas. Skylar, my man. Skylar was looking like Tom Cruise at SEO Spring Training.
Yeah, he was real suave out there.
And guys, I've been just busy, guys. So I'm going to be putting together the video this weekend. I promise. I'll put it together and hopefully get it out. Even maybe hopefully today. And when it comes to editing video, it takes some time, guys. So Connor Head says, yo, Dan, what's up?
Oh, Connor.
If you guys are just tuning in, we got Dan Kurtz in the back, and we'll be talking about how to create an SEO digital assistant. Create a digital VA. SEO Automation 101. Maddox says, hey guys. Are you speaking at any other conferences coming up this year?
Not that I know of. I mean, Trevor was one of the first ones to reach out after I chatted at Rockstars last year.
Oh,
so
nice.
This is
nice.
Just getting into actually sharing some of the stuff that I've been doing kind of behind the scenes for forever.
Oh, yeah. No, I would really want to pick your brain more on this SEO automation stuff, how long you've been doing it, but we'll get out to those questions. I'm going to go ahead and start. We have Logan here and saying, I want a digital assistant. I think we all do. I mean, that actually saves us some money if we, instead of hiring a VA, right? So this is a great topic for you, Logan. So be sure to check it out. So we got about 1.5 more minutes to go. So Dan, I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute real quick while I go ahead and get things ready here. All right. Hey, what's up, SEO pros? Big news! I recently discovered SEO Nitro, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. In just days, I saw incredible results that blew my mind. With SEO Nitro, you can get links from thousands of different C-block IPs, the most powerful links at a fraction of the cost. Patented software lets you control your entire backlink profile in minutes. Add, remove, and change links at any time. Protect your site from Google's changes with SEO Nitro's revolutionary backlinking software. Imagine having the power to have laser-targeted themed backlinks, automated link spinning, set it and forget it. Thousands of stellar sites and manual and automated posting options. SEO Nitro is the ultimate SEO weapon. Head on to SEONitro.com now to revolutionize your SEO game. Don't miss out on page 1. It's just click away.
Yeah. Hey, time to get it started, no delay, let's work. Wanna see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera, steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO video show where SEO is alive and fun. My name is Paul Andre De Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released within the past week into about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and my guest today is the founder of Miss Pepper AI, Dan Kurtz. Before we get started, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Logan, Maddox, Connor, Skylar, Kobe, Stefan, Fletcher, Ernesto, Stefan, Luther, Victor. Hello, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now let's get on with the show.
Hey, Dre. Why did the SEO cross the road? They wanted to get hit by traffic.
A new Google Office Hours video has been posted last week. Let's check out one of the questions that was answered.
Does it really matter using underscore or hyphens to separate keywords in the URL? Well, keywords in URLs have barely any contribution to the rankings of your pages in Google's search results, but yeah, it does matter what you use as separators, and hyphens are better in some sense because it's clearer that they are separating words. I would really check our docs. We have tons of words about this.
I mean, this is a common question I always get, and I always point my clients to the dev teams to the Google Search Docs. I mean, the Google Search Central is a great place, and with documentation that you can always guide your dev team towards. Eric Landris shares his insights on how to recover from the latest Google update. Let's check this one out.
I believe the recovering of the March core update lies in creating a resource that improves overall site engagement. If that's the most important thing out of all of my discoveries, is that I believe the website needs to be a resource. The website needs to keep people on the site. You need to be able to focus on site engagement, and I'm going to dive into depth into what that means and why you could be creating even good content but not be achieving those goals. So ultimately our goal would be to get a click and kind of keep them on the site, and then yay that, if people stay on the site or at least they don't go back to Google to search again, then we would consider that a job done, right? But today, after the March core update, that might not be enough. See, this is where there's the difference, and this is where it changes. Because before, Google was specifically looking, probably, these are my theories, remember, at page-specific metrics. So if you have document A, B, C, D, and they all have 20-second of on-page metrics, and all these pages can compete together. They're all good, right? So all the pages should be equal. This is what Google was likely looking at before. However, now after the March core update, they're looking most likely at a second dimension, which is site metrics. So here we're looking at not only the page metric, but the overall website metric and seeing how users engage and how long they stay engaged with that entire website.
Be sure to check out the whole video to understand how he proves his theory on site engagements. Field observations by the hosts of SEO Fight Club. Here's what they found. Let's check this one out.
There are 50% more search results for your target keyword, and right. Google flooded those 50% of spots with social media and news posts. So you have to compete with more consumable content about what you're trying to sell.
Yeah, I will also point out, because we've looked at a number of these keywords, there are some that you will find that have your Web 2s, your WordPress, Tumblr, Weebly's, are down there as well. So what you see at the bottom, it's wide open right now, in terms of those sort of social and news pieces. It is crazy seeing how much of that is available. So
one implication of all of this is there's more spots for people to compete for. There's more competition for those spots, and Google is giving special advantages to the competition. So those social media sites and news sites, they can violate the 2 results limit.
Ted and Lee sound a little funny there, but for the most part, I built, we're talking about social media accounts. I mean, like I've actually built authority social media accounts and personas, for a few years now. And I think I really find, you can rank multiple tweets and stuff like that on a certain topic by different profiles. So yeah, you can definitely rank more pages with the same domain with social profiles. So I mean, like one of the things that you can start doing, one nugget, is by finding expired Twitter handles and re-registering them. You can find expired social accounts for by using in any network, really. We're using like ScrapeBox. So a SaaS content internal linking checklist by Russ Hudgens. Let's check this one out.
Would be to have the blog inherent the menu navigation. This is critical because it will drive user experience towards buying and also take your content section from a magazine to a real conversion experience, which is really the reason we do it. Many blogs will just have blog navigation links up here, but what we really want is links to our core product pages and solutions and case studies, etc., because that will be a natural place for users to dig into, especially via sticky nav, which is also something we recommend and have seen conversion lift from in tests, because that is going to be easier for them to do than have to jump to the blog, jump to the homepage, then jump into a feature set. That's probably, that is increasing friction to convert and is going to just not drive the outcomes you want within that context. So making the nav be the same, it just also brings continuity. And the final benefit is a lot of these content type pages will drive a lot of links. They're top funnel, they're not very heavy handed. And then the direct internal linking flow from external links will drive more ranking value to these pages, increasing the probability that they can rank. So that's a major reason to do that as well.
One thing I like to point out is, like, I love the idea of the table of contents in blogs as well. I mean, it's a great way to organize your content, to win some feature snippets and that whole passage indexing potentially. This brings me to my favorite part of the show. Please ask questions on the topic and I will address them in the order that they are received. But before we introduce our guests, here's a word from our sponsor. Are you struggling to get high authority backlinks? My buddy Ferry has a perfect solution for you.
How much do you think this digital PR campaign is worth? Wait just 1 minute before you answer. Watch as we hijack the news with Taylor Swift and Barbie to get you the links. Now we can take this data set from ONS and paste it right into your emails to get you the links. Now how much do you think this campaign is worth? Don't answer! Wait until you see Bloomberg, BBC, Forbes, top tier national and regional news outlets, reactive PR, data PR, expert commentary, over 70 team members at your disposal. This product is so hot I need a fan! And then listen to what campaigns we do at no extra charge. Gain character wages, bananas and sleep, best dates for dogs, luckiest UK areas, and many more. All for just how much did you guess? 10,000? 20,000? Even more? No! It's just £5,500. That's right. It's $5.5 grand. It's an incredible value, but it's true. It's digital PR from Search Intelligence. Order today. P.O. Box, searchintelligence.co.uk. Except B2B clients.
Dan has been marketing mercenary for hire since 2006. He's a core of businesses to optimize their processes and the slayer of bad digital marketing. His 15-year experience in digital marketing includes consulting for working companies like Bing, Nelson, to grow their business through processes and workflow optimization automation. He is a speaker and an entrepreneur. He is the founder of Miss Pepper AI, the AI that uniquely builds SEO content designed to catch Google's AI attention. Please welcome Dan Kurtz.
Dan, my man, welcome to the show.
Thanks. What's up, Dre? Hey, everybody.
Everyone, let's give a round of applause. All right. As I was telling everyone, Dan, thank you again for coming at short notice. It was great meeting you at SEO Spring Training, and your presentation really stuck out, and I would love to kind of dive into it. But before we do that, I would love to get to know you a little more, and for our audience to get to know you a little more. But the first question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here in 1 minute or less: how does Dan get ranking on page 1 of Google?
So the way that I go and do it is basically the same way that somebody would go ahead and make a recipe. So I'll go ahead and take a look at how one person's doing backlinks, how somebody else is doing schema, and I'll take the best of those pieces and put them together and figure out how they work. So I'll do stuff like that. Obviously AI testing with all the stuff we have coming out now, and just trying to use best principles. So my number one thing, and I'm sure most SEOs do this as well, but Google's number one premise of having a search engine is to have the ads up there and also to terminate that search. And if you can do that effectively and better than anyone else, using that and a few other tricks that some of the other guys have up their sleeves, you can get that pretty easy.
Love that. Let's rewind this real quick. Dan, take us way back to 2006. When did you first get into digital marketing and SEO?
So I was actually going to college, and that was the year that they started doing the outsourcing thing to the Philippines and to overseas to India. And at the time, I was going to school for graphic design. And I was reading a bunch of books and trying to figure out how to break into the business space. And I came across a book by Seth Godin, or Godin, I don't know how you pronounce it, called Linchpin. Which was a book about how to make yourself indispensable to another company. So I went online, looked at a bunch of the stuff that the IM guys were doing, Frank Kern, Ryan Dice, all these guys way back before they ever hit to where they are now, and started looking into what they were doing, and then stumbled across Black Hat World. Like a bunch of us got started on there. Went in there, started reading the forums, downloading, crack WSOs and programs, and trying to, uncover this thing. I love taking apart things that are puzzles. To me, SEO is a digital puzzle. So I would go in and try and figure out, okay, this piece goes here, the web development goes here, the design goes here. How do we do all this? And then just started working with people, helping somebody build a website locally, and then started taking on clients. And then just, kept doing it and got to where I am today.
Love that. So you love the part of making like a puzzle, as being like a puzzle. So is that what really got you interested in SEO? Just really that figuring it out?
Yeah. So to me, and I know some guys do this as well, but to me, SEO has now become like my Call of Duty. I guess is the best way to say it, or like my Halo. So to me, it's the high score, but it comes with a paycheck.
Yep. Oh, I like that one. Yes. There we go. All right. So, you mentioned Black Hat World, you learned it there. So, what were some other ways that you're learning? Was it just through forums, or were you do you have any books? Do you have any mentors?
No. So I basically jumped in, started doing the Black Hat World stuff, eventually stumbled upon Grindstone, Carter, a lot of those guys way back in the day, when they were kind of doing their thing. Just started following them, doing what they're doing. Wicked Fire, looking at stuff now. I think it's Builder Society, just getting into those areas and just kind of playing with stuff and figuring out how to do things. And then I started getting noticed by a local fitness franchise that was going national. And they took me on to start doing hyperlocal SEO, building out doorway sites, gateway pages, what we now consider parasite SEO, and just doing that for all of their franchise locations, and just learned how to go and build, repeatable, sustainable processes at scale to do SEO. Before IFTTT existed, we were using, I think it was Mike Koenig's software, one of those guys. It was called Main Street Marketing Machines, and it was the precursor to IFTTT before that even existed, but it would do all the things that IFTTT did. And then IFTTT came out, and that kind of went away.
Wow, so you've been doing SEO automation for quite some time now. That's you said prior to even IFTTT, if then that but before we get to there, I still want to learn more about you, but I want to know take us to where are there other things that other SEO that you really excel in? I think you were doing a lot of Facebook ads or Facebook promotions, or was that, and take us through the journey through Miss Pepper. I don't know anything about Miss Pepper AI. Tell us about that too.
Sure. So Miss Pepper AI was a project that initially got started with something that I started building in about 2012, 2013, which would go ahead, download, scrape, spin content, and then put up mass page sites across the US. So you'd put a WordPress site out and we'd get about 250,000 pages, and those pages would start getting indexed. And then we do the traditional, put a cloak over the top and then run your affiliate campaign to that kind of stuff. Obviously, that method wound up getting found out and shut down. I basically took the project, put it in mothballs, and spent a couple of years doing consulting at different companies, different agencies that needed an SEO guy, and just kind of cut my teeth on, how to run an agency, how to deal with clients, how to run multiple things, deal with multiple departments, and trying to figure out, all these companies had, here's the package that we're selling to the client, but a lot of those pieces were missing, or they didn't have the team or the fulfillment to do that. So we would have to come up with ways to either automate or scale those processes effectively, sustainably, and make sure that every client was getting what they needed to get, because they were just building out the SEO department, but they were selling deliverables that they didn't have a team to fulfill with yet. So we would get in and figure out things like that. And, how do we push data? How do we get this into the system? And kind of learning I guess you'd call it like a MarTech kind of thing. We would learn a lot of that stuff and merge that with SEO, because SEO is just data and MarTech is entirely data. So the two kind of feed together, almost how like programmatic SEO feeds together, but it's getting the rest of your systems to all talk to each other. It's kind of like if you've ever watched Star Trek, it's like the universal translator on board. Everybody speaks a different language, but they all know how to work together.
Got it. Love that. And then also, like, I think I also watched that you were doing a lot of Facebook ads, right? Is that something? Is that true, or is that
for a bit? Yeah. Okay. So we were running with a couple different companies. We also own our own identity resolution platform, which we've built, which we'll get into later. Yeah. Essentially, it's the pixel thing that I showed at the conference. It allows us to do all the SEO stuff that we normally do, and then recover about 65% of your bounce visits. So it's SEO with an insurance policy. And we started running that for a lot of our clients, and, feeding that data back to their CRM, back to their ad campaigns. And, they were seeing, massively multiplied results, because we were collecting all the people that they missed, getting those people to start, from a B2B standpoint, we were emailing them and going back and forth, and then retargeting those folks. So by doing that, we were dropping ad costs by like 50% between cost per click and cost per acquisition, and just started running that. So it kind of tied in, and so we have the SEO on the front end and then everything else on the back end that takes care of the rest, I guess.
Love that, guys. And that's one thing that I don't know if we can talk about it, but I know it's something like really interesting. That data set that you shared at the conference was something that's gold. And for any B2B company, that's like a great service for them, especially when you can tie that back to SEO. But that's something we'll talk about if we get some time. If not, I will talk to you more about it after the show.
Sure.
So let's get into the topic of today, and I want you to start explaining about what is SEO automation. Like, I mean, it's not programmatic SEO, because some people may think like, oh, these are two same thing, but no. So can you explain to us what is SEO automation and how you can integrate into digital marketing strategies right now?
Sure, absolutely. So the way that we're doing SEO automation is taking the things that you would normally either hire a VA or have a task manager or whoever go and do those things. We're automating it using a program called make.com. So figuring out what the workflow is, what the SOP is, and then looking at what Make has in their repository. And for those that are unfamiliar, make.com is kind of like Zapier. It's the same idea, but it's way, way more cost effective. So like 10,000 zaps will run you $150. On Make, it's like $10. So you can do a lot more, a lot quicker. But what we do is go and look at things like AI content production. Like, sure, there's a million tools out there that all do it, but I can just take my GPT API key, throw it in there, and give it the exact prompts and models that I want for that client. And instead of having to have a custom GPT or an agent that's currently sitting on a desktop somewhere, I can just simply go ahead and run it and say, I want to make a blog post about this topic. Go ahead and do it based on the client onboarding form that they gave us when they signed up. So all that data is saved in the database, and then we just pull on that, and every answer that they gave us, we weave it through all the content, so it's always consistent. So like different things like that, automating podcasts, creating AI avatar videos using HeyGen. We have a bunch of different things that we're doing right now to essentially take somebody who might be a small business or a solo entrepreneur and allow them to scale up consistently and repeatably, because there's not enough hours in the day to do all the stuff we do in SEO. You've got video, you've got PR, you've got articles, you've got all the different places you need to be all at the same time. So if you can delegate those to having a Google form that you can submit and just know that that task is taken care of, you can save yourself all that time and get your time back. And that's primarily why we started doing it, is to get that time back for everybody.
Love it. Yes, time is very, very important, very, very valuable. I mean, you've been doing this again like for quite some time prior to if then that tool. I mean, how has how's it changed? How's your perspective changed since you were doing it back before then? Or are you able to do a lot more things now with what we have available?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a lot better now. There's a lot more, because back then it was, everything had to be custom developed and you had to have somebody made your own custom API and you'd have to feed your documentation somewhere else. You'd have to hire a developer to do all that. With using something like make.com, if something has an API, whether it's through their website or like third-party websites like Appy Hub, Rapid API, or even data for SEO, they're just a collection of API keys, and you can go in and read their documentation. And the way that we build automations is we'll go in and say, okay, I'm looking to solve this problem specifically. So let's say I want to get backlinks, figure out the top 3 competitors, and then cross-reference all that information. So we'll go into data for SEO, grab their API keys and say, okay, here's the documentation, feed it to ChatGPT and say, hey, I need the JSON code in order to go ahead and grab backlinks. Here's the instructions on how to build it. Build it for me. And it will go ahead and create that code, and then we paste that into Make and test it.
Oh man, that's a nice nugget right there. So you're just grabbing other people's documentation and kind of like teaching your bot, your AI to kind of do something similar.
Yeah, exactly. So if there's like multiple services that we want to chain together that aren't already built in Make, like Make has, I think, over 6,000 apps that they've already integrated with. But if there's something custom or something that doesn't quite have, like the pieces don't quite fit, but they have an API, I can just go ahead and make a custom request in there and just say, hey, I need you to hook into the software and I need you to go ahead and make me a video. Here's the script.
Got it.
I'll feed it basically off of a question. So we have, for clients, what we'll do is we'll build a persona database for them. Okay. So kind of like a library of knowledge, like you would with ChatGPT. Okay. For a client, or get it to be like a custom chatbot. Mm-hmm. But Dante is a lot more flexible, and it has an API key that you can hook into. So it's a GPT that actually can be called anywhere. So what we do is we'll ask it a question, it'll prompt it, it'll answer, and then we'll take the output and use it as a script and then push it over to HeyGen, which then makes a video of a talking AI head of you or me, without me having to go ahead and make a short or a reel or anything else. And then it'll automatically push it to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all that.
Damn! Man, so, and this is all within one make thing, just press button and then it'll do all that, create that and distribute the whole thing?
Yeah, or you can set it on a timer and give it a random list of topics to pick from, and then just let it go. So if every day at 8 a.m. you want to post a reel, it'll go ahead, create the reel using HeyGen and just automatically distribute it for you. You don't even have to be in front of the computer anymore.
Oh man, I love that. Okay. So let's kind of take a step back here. So you talk about Make.com. I mean, what makes Make.com more better than any other kind of tool out there? Like, let's say Zapier. I mean, like, what were some of the things that you kind of looked into to kind of use Make.com as your primary source of building these automation?
So first for me was going to be the cost. It has to be, affordable, scalable, and economical, especially if you're doing all the different things that we're doing, like creating social posts, making videos, automating podcasts for people. All those different things require a certain amount of resources, and Zap charges way too much to get that in there. Okay. And then the other thing is that with Make.com, they have an AI assistant in their chat. So you can tell it, hey, I want to build this automation using these bubbles. Can you set it up for me? And it'll go ahead and within a couple of, probably about 20, 30 seconds, it'll build a wireframe automation for you and say, is this what you were looking for? Or do you want me to try again? And then you can just go in and custom change your data points that are inside the system. and say, well, you got it close. This one is going to find a post on WordPress, not post a post on WordPress. So you just change out the command and it goes, oh, okay, I got that. Cool. Now all I need you to do is hook up your API keys from like WordPress or your Tumblr or Twitter or whatever, and automatically it'll just run in the background and save all that data for you.
Excellent.
Love that. Okay, so now let's talk about like the learning curve. I mean, because Make.com is another piece of software, and what's the learning curve looking like? Like, I mean, can anyone do this? Do I need to have a developer background? How is the learning curve for Make.com?
If you've ever played with if this then that, it's if this and that on steroids. So there's a slight learning curve to it. It'll take a little bit, but you can recreate an IFTTT syndication network in about 5-10 minutes inside of Make, and then not be limited by IFTTTs. I think their limit is like 20 posts a day or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going heavy into auto blogging or any of that stuff and you want to build out your syndication network, you can just do that and just have it run on autopilot.
Love that. Okay, so I'm curious, like, how'd you learn it? I mean, was there any other, like, any resources that you can, like, share that people can, like, really get into kind of basic Make.com building?
So a lot of people now are finally starting to post YouTube videos about Make.com.
Okay.
But initially, it was just me going, okay, I want to take this piece of information from over here, and I want to get it into this program. It literally started with us taking the pixel data and being able to push it into a client CRM. It's like, okay, how do we get that data there? And then just learning how to map out very simple, very rudimentary automations, and then learning like how to use timers, how to use things that are like webhooks. So like a timer you would use if, like, let's say you were trying to make a video with HeyGen.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd put a timer in there for like 5 or 10 minutes for the system to just wait for HeyGen to finish generating the video and then go grab it. So little things like that. So it'll do all the things that you would normally do or that a VA would do, of like, go write a script, go plug it into HeyGen, go do this, format it for these social platforms. You can have it do all those things in a chain, in tandem, and you just wind up having an automated social poster.
Wow. It's amazing stuff going on there. So let's kind of like dive in deep into one of your automated processes. I know you mentioned like podcasts and video creation. Let's talk about like maybe possibly going into kind of one of your particular processes, and like how were you able to successfully automate the process that usually would take like a long time if you just did it regularly?
Yeah. So what I normally try and do is think through whatever I'm doing in my workflow that I want to automate. So let's say I'm making a blog post in ChatGPT, because that's a fairly common one that everybody wants to do. It's like, okay, I got to make my title, my description, I got to do this, I got to plug in my keywords, I need to have it right a certain way.
Yeah.
So I'll sit down and kind of map out the bubbles inside Make of like, okay, I need to give it a topic, and then I needed to go down the line and do a title and a header and this and that, and then I needed to post it to the website and then have the IFTTT go off the end. So I'll map that out in my head as like, okay, I need to push a button here, it needs to generate the article, and then put it in the correct spot. So the title goes into the title field in WordPress, the body goes into the body portion of WordPress, description goes into the meta portion of WordPress, those type of things. And you just take basically everything that happens, there's an input and an output, just like ChatGPT.
Okay.
So if you input, I need this, then it'll say, cool, I'm going to save that output that I just gave you. So let's say it's a blog post title. I'm going to save that, and you can push that anywhere else. So when you go and open, let's say Blogger or WordPress or Weebly or any of those other sites, you just click in the title field and go back to the ChatGPT thing and say, take the title that I made here and push it to all of these. This way you have your syndication network. So it does the work once in the very beginning, and then down the line, you can call back anything it's previously done to bring it forward.
Got it. I love that. So you guys, simple stuff that you can do there. So when you actually do it, so when you say you're creating these bubbles, I mean, is this within Make.com? You just kind of outline it, and then you kind of drag it into where it needs to go. Is that what you're creating?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a drag and drop editor, which makes it so much easier than doing Zap. So you can literally, it's a visual workflow. So if you're a visual person, especially when it comes to doing stuff like online marketing, like I love being able to, because a lot of the stuff we do in digital marketing, there is no tangible thing. You can't like put your hands on it and manipulate it, but at least being able to see like a visual flow chart. It's like, okay, this computer is going to talk to that computer, and then they're going to work together to make me a video file, and then that's going to go to all of my social channels. Got it. So it helps to kind of see all that and, you know, kind of be able to put your hands on it, so to speak, because you can just ask it, hey, can you connect all these bubbles, and then make sure that they all work, and it'll do that. And if something goes wrong, it'll throw up a red flag and say, hey, this is busted. Can you check it out? So
Love that.
Checks its own work.
Love that. Love that. All right, guys. We have a few people here in the comments. We have Brian saying "Masters of Badassery." What's up, Brian? And we had Brandon come in and say here, "Legends." What's up, Brandon? And I see Randy, the news guy, who was also here. Yes, Dan the man. Okay, so guys, if you guys have any questions in the audience, go ahead and ask them in the live chat, and I will address them in the order that they receive. But you know, to keep things going here, I'm curious, like, what were some of the challenges? I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you came up some times where you couldn't automate it. Like, you know, there's something that's like, or did you not? Or are you able to automate everything you've wanted? Was there any other challenges that you've come across?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like before Make.com and diving into it, like the past 2 years or so, trying to figure out how to get all these things to work together was very much like logging into the program, running the software, waiting for it to do something and having an error, or trying to get a coder to try and build out whatever I was thinking of. So like, it's just in the past couple of years, it's taken off, you know, just up and to the right as far as the development skill. These leads in their campaign, go do it. And it would just go, okay, boss, and then just go run and do it. So it would send out like direct mail to consumers. It would load them to a CRM for prospecting. It would go ahead and load it to the retargeting audiences. It would do everything all at once.
Wow. So I'm curious, like, how much time have you been saving doing this? Like, let's say like you had one client all done by hand, then you decide to like, hey, let's automate some of these processes. And how much like time are we looking at that you're actually saving by doing a lot of these automations per client?
Hours. Like per client, it's probably like 20 hours a month.
Oh wow, saving 20 hours. So 20 hours, you're getting 20 hours back by just having the automation. Wow. Guys, 20 hours, you can compute that as how much you want to charge an hour or whatever it is, but that's how much you're getting back, and you know, time is valuable. So I'm curious now, let's go into some of the more advanced stuff. We talked about blog posts. Let's talk about some more of the complex automation that you're doing out there that's actually like, you know, is pulling different type of things and that's actually like working really well with the outputs.
Sure. So one of the things that we're working on right now and trying to implement in the business is building an AI chatbot that lives inside of your live chat support. So if somebody asks it a question that it's never seen and it's not in the database, it will go ahead and generate a blog post response and save it as a draft in WordPress for you to proof. So this way, now that becomes an FAQ section on the website. So if somebody asks it, it'll try and answer it best it can and then save that output as a blog post. So you can at least handle that. I have other ones that will monitor like our support email. And basically we have a tier 1 support analyst, which is just the chatbot that's been trained on exactly all the general comment questions we get, and will then write a response and then send it back to the client as if it is Miss Pepper AI, which is our little name for the agency. So we're doing things like that and kind of creating all these little pieces and different facets to actually make the automated marketing process happen. So she's kind of starting to take a life of her own, writing content, having her own voice. We're working on getting her into HeyGen and actually making her the face of her own company and proving that, yes, AI can work if you do it effectively.
Love that. So you're pivoting Miss Pepper AI into like a more of an agency model, right? Because you said before it was a piece of software that was actually creating content. And
right. So we were doing all that, and then obviously, you know, we've had clients over the years. So when I first started Miss Pepper, like right in the smack dab in the middle of the pandemic, our first client was like a local carpet cleaner, and then the next one was a telecom subsidiary. So like we were able to handle both ends of the spectrum really, really well, which was a lot of fun. So, and then using different things for like automated backlinks, content, systems, on-page optimization, off-page optimization. We were doing all of that, and then started doing the development for the pixel stuff. And now we're stepping more into the enterprise space with that, because a lot of those guys are already spending on traffic. We just want to get them more of it cheaper. So doing that and then helping them with the SEO.
Love that. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a need there. But I mean, I would love to talk to you about a little bit more later. But I mean, I would love to I'm curious about like what do you do to like stay ahead? Like, I mean, like how do you get brainstorm on that more ideas? Like, where are you getting your ideas? Like, I mean, and again, I feel like, there is a learning curve. I mean, I feel like if you learn directly from you, like, will you be ever doing like a course on this for marketers or, people to kind of like learn the step-by-step of how to just create like, automation for SEO?
So it's something that I'm toying with, putting together a course to teach people how to leverage what they need in their business. So being able to sit down, identify a problem, and then create an automated solution. And the whole reason that the automated solution stuff came about was because I would rather have a bunch of highly skilled people on my team that are managing robots, as opposed to having a bunch of people that are doing, tasks that could be automated with a bunch of different software. I would rather have them doing things like the blog post thing, for example. I would rather have them checking the output and making sure it's optimized instead of sitting there, drilling away in ChatGPT. That's just no good for business, and it's a monotonous task. And for like employee retention, things like that, it just makes more sense to have those automations in place so that they're not burnt out doing however many things they're doing, and they can just simply spot check, approve, and make sure that the process flows. So it's kind of creating like the Ford assembly line, almost creating like a production line for what we're doing. This way, everybody has their hand in it somewhere. So there's always human interaction at some level on the back end, but 85 to 90% of the stuff that does get output is fully AI or automated.
Love that. So I'm curious if there can be with the future of SEO automation, like what do you see that will be like next level if you can have that done? Say you have make.com, you talked about it. Make.com was IFTT on steroids. What would be a make.com on steroids? What would be that the ultimate thing to kind of make things over the top?
So what we're kind of working on with it now is actually completely automating the onboarding process and then automating it talking to the SEO programs that we use, like the different link building tools and things like that, to actually have it so the client fills out the onboarding form. It does all the things like gives them their CRM, their lead gen portal, it'll send them a contract, it'll make tasks for our team and teamwork with the SOPs attached to it, and then it will go ahead and generate the content needed for month 1, month 2, and month 3 for link building, and then call those programs that are sitting on the server, because like a lot of the automated link building programs, they all have an API. So if I can get the documentation from the developer, I can have it push that content directly into the software and start a new campaign.
Man, that's some money right there. Love that. Okay, I want to go. Let's go into beyond SEO. And guys, if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the live chat while we come down to a few questions here. So I'm curious. In your presentation, you actually cover other applications besides SEO. Can you discuss like how the automation and AI can be leveraged in other areas of digital marketing, particularly your pixel?
Yeah, sure. So with a bunch of different ones, some of the things that I presented at the presentation, and again, the presentation was closed doors. So I'm going to be as explanatory as possible, but also as vague as possible. So some of the things we talked about doing were things like podcast automation, creating an entire 150-page book for your business as like an authority piece, like a lot of the other marketers do. And then using things like we're talking about with the pixel to take that data once it comes in and then push it into the rest of your marketing chain. So to have it so that every record that comes in from your website the day before is able to be pushed into, let's say, a direct mail program. So using something like PostGrid, which sends out flyers if you're a local business. So you can actually automate sending mailers for clients using make.com. Having it go into retargeting audiences, which will help on average cut your acquisition cost by like 50%, which I'd already mentioned. Being able to send cold emails to people that are B2B prospects, whether it's out of your CRM, Gmass, Gmail Monster, any of those programs, they all have APIs. So having that conversation at least started and kicked off by an automation process, and then whatever you normally do, just to leverage that data. So we do things like that with it. We'll push it wherever we can. But one of the things we started getting back into doing was doing Google display ads in order to get people to the land or the funnel. And the reason being is because we have, with the Pixel, 65% of the time, we can identify somebody by their name, email address, phone number, company they work for, all of that. If that's the case and we're doing SEO, if I can get a click at 10 to 15 cents on Google Display Network, how many clicks am I going to buy in order to fill my pipeline? Now it becomes a really easy marketing equation. So that's the kind of stuff we play with, and then building that out in about 10 or 15 minutes using Canva and ChatGPT and just launching it.
Guys, I don't think you understand how valuable that what was just said. I mean, that is such a crazy thing. And I mean, I'm curious, just, with all the privacy, GDPR and all this stuff, like, how's this Pixel of yours? Like, is it Black Hat, or are you collecting this stuff?
So so we have a database of people in the United States, between, let's say, 300 million to 550 million people, between B2B and B2C.
Okay.
So we know their emails, the companies they work for, and we kind of piece together pieces of information about them. So we, at a larger level, are part of a data co-op that has about 100 other companies that we work with, that are all verifying pieces of data, and then we're checking their work, they're checking ours, and we're making sure that we have, a complete customer record. But we're only pushing the data into the platforms that you can go ahead and advertise to. So like a consumer will never get a piece of direct mail or a phone call from a client. We simply don't allow it. Because with B2C, the privacy laws with that, around things like CAN spam, TCPA here in the States, we just don't mess with any of that stuff. We want to make sure our clients are compliant. We do our due diligence on our side to make sure that they're getting the data they need to get that sale, but not to go ahead and badger the prospect. On the other side of that, the GDPR, CCPA, all of that kind of stuff, we don't do anything outside the U.S. Which keeps, so we do it just stateside. It makes it a lot easier, it's a lot cleaner, and it's a lot more efficient. So if anybody does business in the U.S., it'll work just fine.
Love that. And we have a few comments coming here from the live chat. Brian says, these tips are huge. Thanks, Dan. And Randy says, love it. Automation, I think, will be more critical in the coming months. Yes. Automation. I'm curious now, what advice would you give for marketing professionals who are kind of hesitant to get into integrate automation into their SEO strategies? Because, sometimes you feel like it won't do that. It may mess things up. I mean, what kind of advice would you get them to get past that FUD?
Sure. So the initial thing is start with something very, very small that's a non-consequential task that you want to automate. So let's say, for example, it's IFTTT. Real simple, RSS to whatever the platforms are that you normally post to. If it breaks, it's not the end of the world. It's one of those things that it's not going to affect your entire business. It doesn't take you offline if something happens. It missed a post, so one post doesn't get a couple links. Big deal. So you start with something small, or even something internal, like automating your content production piece if you're a content writer. So hooking up to either Claude or ChatGPT or whatever, and using the kind of prompts that you already build and loading them into the system as, hey, you always need to talk like this. This is the type of verbiage you need to use. This is the conversational tone I want you to have. You can do all the system prompting that you would normally do inside of GPT or Claude or any of the other ones inside of Make. So it'll save that as a system-wide rule, and then you can just give it the regular prompt that you would give it underneath, and it will always have that same consistent quality output over the entire thing.
Got it. So that's why you talk about you have maybe different clients is a different Make set, so, because you have one Make set that will systemize from their intake form and then kind of just always generate outputs from that intake form.
Right, exactly. Because by having that, we kind of know the persona of the business. We'll have a conversation with the client. We'll ask if we can record it. We'll take that, transcribe it, get it into Otter, and then take out us asking the questions and feed it to GPT and go, okay, based on how this business owner talks, how would you go ahead and write content? And then it would go ahead and outline what that person's persona was. We go, cool, perfect, click. Take that, copy it into ChatGPT and say, you're always going to talk like this guy. this is how he talks. And then now the content is consistent. It's the same across the board. So we're taking the brand voice of who that person is and what they do, going into, some of the sales psychology stuff, how they want to be perceived in their market, what they want to do. We take as much of that as we can and we train the model on it and feed it and say, okay, you're now this person and here's what they do. Here's how they talk. This is, what the typos and punctuations and whatever, all those little nuances to humanize as much of the AI content as possible so that when you do get that output, it's closer to where that person would talk. It may not be fully optimized, but it's the conversational tone that business owner, that brand has. So you're mimicking what they're already doing. And this way, you're not getting in trouble. You're not getting flagged if you're working with larger clients, things like that.
Love that. Love that. Maj says, hey, Dre. Hey, Dan. And we have Tim Parker here. The risks versus rewards, aren't there beyond the U.S. and Canada?
Yep. He's talking about the Pixel.
Oh, okay. So it's yeah. I mean, that Pixel that you're talking about, are you using, is like make.com part of that Pixel creation, or is that something totally separate?
No, so the Pixel came about, started developing it in 2018, and I was having the same conversation with myself that I was when I was going to college. It's like, okay, SEOs are having this problem. We get a client ranked, all these things happen, and then I'm sure like a client goes, okay, cool, I'm number one, thanks, I'm done. And they walk away like, no, that's not how it works. So I started thinking, okay, well, if we're doing SEO, how do we make the SEO indispensable? The only way to do that is to make sure that the clicks and the rankings that we're getting are actually translated into leads and sales on the back end. So started looking at what the enterprise level companies were doing to solve that, which is identity resolution. That's the name of the technology. And kind of learning how that works, building a database of people, looking at, historical charts and things like that. It's the same way, if you've ever played the board game Guess Who, it's like a little board game for kids. Yep. It's the same exact thing. So you take the board and you rack it, and you have to guess who the other person is that they have on their card. So that's what we do with identity resolutions. Like, okay, well, based on these behaviors on these web pages, this is most likely this person. This is John Smith. And we know that because of the device that he's browsing on. So it might be his smartphone, might be his iPad, might be whatever. But we get that information because we know that behavior matches that person. And then we go ahead and we start marketing to them.
Love that. I love that. And I'm curious, with this Pixel, does it only work on websites, or can it work with YouTube channels, or like can it tie into other systems? So like, let's say people that viewed my ad, let's say from AdWords or anything like that. Like
So it can be embedded on anything that can be considered a web page. It's just a line of JavaScript code. So it would have to be on a web page of some kind. So like, we've taken it and put it on some of our PBNs. So we'll take a pixel, put it on the PBN, and then have it so that category is identified by the pixel and then fed to our system. So if somebody finds us through one of our, kind of like what Brian Whittam was presenting, the authority site model that he's got for his PBNs, we're modeling that same thing and doing that across all the sites. So the pixel, we can now identify anybody that hits that website. So now it's part of our network, but we're also identifying anybody who's maybe one or two steps removed from the agency. And being able to say, hey, we saw you were looking at this. Is this a problem you're currently trying to solve? Do you want to have a conversation with us? We own the website you were just on.
Love that, man. This idea of automating an agency is like mind blowing, and it sounds like that you're almost there, right? Like it's just pretty much from just submitting the intake form and then just let it rip, and then you got everything going. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's not, you can package that up into a great service or like a white label thing that you can do for like other agencies. I mean, I'll be the first one to sign up right there. Love that.
Sure. But,
oh yeah. So,
I was gonna say about that, like, absolutely love doing the automation part of it, but I always want to make sure that there's a human checking the work before it goes out. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, because a lot of the guys, and especially with the past content update that just happened, everybody's freaking out about that it was AI content. Like, no, you just did the same thing we had when Panda and Penguin happened, and you're just doing it again. Like different set of problems.
All right, guys. So I got maybe a couple more questions here before we get going. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask in the live chat before we run out of time. We have here Mother Bone says, don't forget to mention, yes, you can hook it into Google Ads audiences and Facebook audiences with better than 99% audience match.
Yep.
I'm not sure what he's talking about there, but.
Oh, so by loading the records into any of the ads,
Okay.
our data matches Google's data 100%. So like if you upload a custom audience, it's exactly who Google has in their database. So anybody you identify with us is exactly who Google has on file.
Love that. Okay, so we are coming close to time, so I'm going to go ahead and ask my last question that I asked all my last. And then guys, I'll pick up maybe 1 or 2 more questions if you ask them before time here. But if someone wants to get into the SEO game, SEO industry, become an SEO professional, what would your advice be to them?
Pretty much the same thing most everybody else says is like learn on your own, test, and then start building stuff out. That's the best way to do it, is get in and get your hands dirty. Like you can't build a Lego set by watching YouTube videos. Like you have to get in there and do it. And that's kind of how I view SEO is like, it's a Lego set. You don't know what the design is going to be because you have to analyze the market first, but you might find that you only need to build like a house instead of building a castle. So we do that. And that's kind of how you have to think of it. It's like, okay, this particular industry or this particular keyword requires this set of tools to ensure that I'm at the top. How do I do that? And then backtrack. The best way to describe it is like if you were looking at, let's say, a pirate ship and there's a bunch of cannonball holes in the side of it, obviously you want to patch them. But if the ship is halfway underwater already, because ships float, you won't know where the holes are unless you go down and look. So that's kind of how I view SEO. It's not what everybody else is doing, it's what they're not doing. So if you find their holes, you can get ahead.
Oh, I love that. And we did get one question asked here by Brian. Brian goes, how many editors do you have before posting your WP automations?
So the editing process, we normally go through and we'll do all the correct things. So like grammar check, fact check, optimize. And normally we'll just have one person do that. So they're assigned to that particular set of tasks or that client. We're not publishing tons and tons of content for clients. We're just trying to pick the strategic pieces that people need. So we'll do like, run stuff through SEO Power Suite and then compare sitemaps and figure out what we're missing against people in the space. Again, finding the holes in the ship, things that they're not doing that we could be doing, and then building out that content for that and then putting it up and publishing. So we really only have like one person between like 2 or 3 clients that's managing that, and we just run that.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. Skylar says, time's up already. Damn, time flies when you're having fun. Great stuff, Dan and Dre. And yes, time is up. So this is the last, if you have any, for this episode to feel complete for you, any last comments and how can people get a hold of you?
So you can get a hold of me through either Miss Pepper AI or find me on Facebook. That's the 2 easiest ways to find me online. Everybody else, sorry. Parting wisdom, I guess, same thing you've probably heard a million times, but if you're going to go in and do something and you want to do it right, you have to mess it up a million times first. Like, especially with like a program like Make or whatever, build a test site and then go ahead and on that test site, figure out how to automate your content process, figure out how to automate your IFTTT. If you were going to build a YouTube video, how would you do it? Like, do the same thing that you would do on a test site that you would do to a real domain. Build those automations out. And then when the time comes, Make has the option for you to be able to import and export templates anywhere you want. So you can take that once it's done and say, okay, cool, I've built this machine. Now I can go apply it to my money sites. Now I can go apply it to a client. Now I can go apply it to a PBN. So once you've done it and you've done it the way that you want it and it's your way of doing it, it's saved forever. You just take it, download it to your desktop, and then you can clone it out for as many different websites as you want.
Love that. And you know what? I was just thinking, you have a lot of some of these somewhat already made, right? I mean, are you able to are you able to export and share and sell those as well if you wanted to?
Yeah, you can do that as well. If you
go.
want to do that as if somebody wanted to do that, they could absolutely do that. We have about 75, 80 that we've built already internally. we're still figuring out what to do with them, because obviously if we put them out in the market, they can be shared with everybody. There's no license keys for make. So it's kind of a maybe we do, maybe we don't, or maybe just show people how to build it and then they can make it their own way. So
got it.
I'm kind of thinking of doing it like a, kind of like an automation kitchen. Everybody comes in and they learn how to do, here's how to bake a cake. Well, this guy wants to make chocolate. This one wants vanilla. This one wants red velvet cake. Cool. You guys all put your own flavor in it. That's your signature thing now. Now go out and do it.
Love it. Loving the analogies here. Everyone, let's give a round of applause to Dan over here. Dan, thank you so much for coming on. Can you hold on for one quick second while I sign off here? Hold on for one quick second.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And visit our sponsors, SEOnitro.com and search-intelligence.co.uk. Until next time, I will see you guys next week. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, because the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre DeVera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo!